Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Steve is running a little late, so he'll be.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, I'll call to order our reorganizational board meeting. And the first item we'll undertake is establishing a quorum, at which I'll be acting clerk until we have our election. So I'll take roll. Melissa Hermes.
Present.
Matt Lemke.
Here.
Melanie Cole here. Blaine Danielson.
Here.
Natalie Knudsen.
Here.
Stephen Vigasa is not here, but we do have a quorum.
Yep, he did text me, so he will be here shortly.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
The first elective item is election of the chairperson. Is there a nomination for chair?
I nominate Melanie Cole.
I'll second that. Oh, okay.
Are there any other nominations for chair? Are there any other nominations for chair? If there are no further nominations, then the candidate nominated for the office, Melanie Cole, is declared elected by acclamation, and I direct the clerk to record so in the minutes. Is there a nomination for vice chair?
I nominate Matt Lemke.
All right, are there other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing no other nominations for vice chair, then Matt Lemke is declared elected by acclamation, and I direct acting clerk to record so in the record. Is there a nomination for clerk?
I nominate Blaine.
All right, Blaine Danielson is nominated for clerk. Are there any other nominations for clerk? Any other nominations for clerk? Hearing no other nominations for clerk, then I hereby declare that Blaine Danielson is elected by acclamation, and I direct him to record so now since he's the clerk in the record. Are there nominations for treasurer?
Nominate Natalie.
Natalie Knudsen is nominated for treasurer. Are there any other nominations for treasurer? Any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing none, I thereby note that Natalie Knudsen is elected by acclamation, and I direct the clerk to record so in the minutes. That concludes the election of officers, and we'll move on to the various other items established in our reorganizational meeting. Next, I am looking for a motion to address the salary for school board members. Our current salary is at $450 a month. Is there a motion to address the salary for school board members?
I'll make the motion, keep it at 450.
All right. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All right. There is a motion and a second to continue the salary for school board members at the current rate of $450 per month. Is there any discussion on that? All in favor of approving that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. I only got one aye. Do we need a minute to let Steve get acclimated?
Sorry, guys.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to recall for that vote. We got a motion and a second for salary for school board members at $450 a month. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, confident with that. All right, then, the meeting dates, is there a motion to offer to address meeting dates, location, and time? Our current activities are described in a paragraph on our work materials. If the motion includes a modification, indicate so. Is anyone willing to offer that motion?
I'll make the motion to keep the meeting dates as is, the second and fourth Mondays, with the exception of a couple months during the year. So.
All right. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Any discussion on it?
Do we want to leave the time at 5 or do we want to go to 5:15?
I would love 5:15 actually, to be quite honest, but, because I get off work at 5, so,
All right.
but that's just me.
Then, and anybody have any objection to that?
No.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. So then,
As I'm late today.
So no more.
So do I need to amend my motion?
yes, yeah, please amend your motion.
Okay, I'll make
I
the
should do
amendment
that.
to my motion, keeping everything the same, it's just the starting time will be changed from 5 to 5:15. And then regarding the summer meetings, those are still at 7:15
Yeah, that's-
in the morning. So just amend it to change the time to the evening
All right,
meetings.
very good. And second on that amended motion?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion?
And that becomes effective at our next meeting.
That'd be correct.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is accepted. I would like a motion to set the mileage rate in consistently with the federal mileage rate. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of approving that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that passes. Is there a motion to direct the official newspaper of the school board for Fergus Falls?
So moved.
All right,
You actually have to.
Make it as a daily journal as our official newspaper.
okay. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor of making the Daily Journal our official newspaper, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved. Is there a motion available to address the use of the signature scan?
Because we kept the offices the same.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have to do that.
Great, thanks for interjecting. Never mind that idea. Moving on. I would look for motion to authorize wire transfers, and I note that in our narrative, it suggests that it be Mark Maston, Sherry Smith for payroll taxes, the accounts payable secretary, who at this time is unnamed, and yeah, and so those are the individuals we want on a wire transfer.
And the accounts receivable secretary also.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
that's the second. that's
We're
the
just
one.
putting it like that,
Okay,
so we cover it.
right, okay. Very good. Is there a motion to address the resolution authorizing wire transfers?
I move that we authorize the wire transfers as noted above,
Okay,
as
thank you.
stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Just a question, do we have to at some point, once those positions have been named, do we have to?
I don't feel so, as long as we're designating that whoever's in that position.
Okay.
Mark, do you feel the same?
It's up to the auditors there, maybe want to name some here instead of a position. but-
And we can easily do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not a problem.
All right. Anything further on that topic? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that passed. Security State Bank has been our official repository. Will someone make a repository? Wow. Depository. I'm not sure about that. Would someone be willing to make a motion to continue in that regard?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on
I
that?
just need to recuse.
All right.
Competitor.
Steve Biggessa recuses himself. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved. And the next item is a resolution, and we'll go around the table and vote on this. Whereas from time to time matters arise which require consultation with legal counsel, whereas the school board may not have time to meet specifically to hire legal counsel for a particular circumstance that has arisen, and therefore a general authorization to contact legal counsel is necessary. Whereas the school board reserves the right to hire any legal counsel of its choice for any particular matter, now therefore be it resolved by the school board of Independent School District number 544 as follows, that the superintendent or school board chair be and hereby are authorized to contact legal counsel as needs require. Will someone offer that motion and move for its adoption?
I'll offer resolution, move for its adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, I'll take, Missy on second? Okay, fine. And clerk, will you conduct the roll, please?
Melanie Cole,
Yes?
Blaine Danielson, yes. Natalie Knudsen.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Misty Hermes.
Yes.
Steve Biggessa.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right, thank you. Last item, voting item here. Acknowledgement of the participation of the district in the Minnesota School District Liquid Assets Fund. Would someone make a motion to acknowledge our participation in that assets group?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Mark, remind me why we want to have a acknowledgement of our participation?
The Minnesota School District Liquid Asset Fund is basically our savings account. And it consists of a pool of school districts around the state of Minnesota, so we get better rates.
Okay,
And so we have to annually say that we are going to participate.
okay, thank you. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor of that resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same vote. All right, very good. That passes. The last items include topics that we ran through at our work session, but just kind of going to reaffirm and take a look at the proposed committee representation and adjust if you have a desire to be removed or move on to a different committee. Otherwise, the public can see this in our minutes, and we won't review it any more fully. That sound okay?
The only switch that was made was a change between staff development and legislative liaison, and Missy and Steve switched those positions.
Okay,
Otherwise, it's the same as this past year.
all right.
And negotiations, I don't think anyone changed on that.
Nothing changed there. These are not items we need to vote on. And then we have our, keep this handy, bill review, so you don't get surprised if you return or not. And then, any discussion on any of those three acknowledgement pieces? It's all informational. If I'm not rushing you, then the next item I'd look for is a motion to adjourn our reorganizational meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion?
We will update this schedule, so we'll have the times changed. So bill review would be just 15 minutes later from what it is now, so we'll make adjustments and get a new one of these out.
Okay, that sounds good. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, well, that covers,
When they say we, I really mean Wayne.
yeah.
Well, hey, everyone can show up at 5, they can just sit around for 15 minutes.
Well,
right?
get to know each other, that's good. All right, having concluded that tidy set of tasks, I'm gonna call to order our regular school board meeting of Independent School District number 544. And the first item of business is to establish our quorum for this meeting. So clerk?
Matt Lemke.
Here.
Misty Hermes.
Present.
Steve Biggessa.
Present.
Natalie Knudsen.
Here.
Blaine Danielson here. Melanie Cole.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move on to entertain a motion to approve the agenda. May I have that motion?
I move we approve the agenda.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on our agenda? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, there we go, and we will cover some acknowledgements. First of all, congratulations to the fall sports teams who won conference sportsmanship awards for girls swimming and diving. tennis and for boys soccer. And then congratulations to Sophie Roush for becoming the all-time scoring leader for Otter girls hockey. So that's pretty cool.
I'll read the next one. Congratulations to Melanie Cole for being re-elected to the Region 1 Joint Powers Board beginning January 1, 2018 for a 3-year term. Melanie received the most votes of anybody in the region, so that was good.
Yeah, thanks. It's funny. By 2 people. Not
You're
just
sharing too much. I mean, where I ended it was perfect. You were
Yeah, I know, but
beat-
oh, my head was like, oh,
Except the fame and glory.
Fame and glory.
that's right.
Region 1.
And then we are gonna thank many people for donations to the Otter Angel account, which was created anonymously to assist families that are unable to pay for student meals. So thanks to Mark Stroud, William Swanson, Ann Anderson, Rebecca LaSure, Craig and Jamie Sam, Tanya Westra, April Hauge, Carol Lee, Staria Kloksvik, Melissa Peevesdorf, Rebecca Svingen, Leah Oswald, Barbara Rick, Gina Nordlund, Carol Bischoff, Tony Rentz, Tom and Jean Nathans, Carla Johnson, Mark and Connie Graff, John and Jill Walkup, and Travis and Melanie Brown. Thank you all for your donations to the Otter Angel account. All right, any further acknowledgements? We will move on to our board reports, and I'll start again with a dose of humility as far as negotiations. Mark, would you fill in for me on that, since you've been managing most of the
Sure, well,
negotiations?
at the current time, the only one that is of the groups that's available right now is the Principal Association, and we have that on the agenda tonight to approve. To the committee of Matt, Steve, and Blaine, and I got 2 of the 3 respondents saying it was favorable. So, but other than that, we don't have any negotiations with any other groups starting until April.
All right, thank you very much. And then as far as the Special Education Cooperative, today we had our general board meeting, which involved the representatives and superintendents from all the member districts. The agenda today was a review of items that the executive board had covered in the past 3 months, so there was not anything significantly new to report. We do an educational piece with each one of our meetings because it's just to continue to inform ourselves about our services that we offer as a district, and talk today about speech language pathology assistance because the category speech language pathology is so hard to fill with a master. It requires a master's degree. State statute allows assistance, which has a lesser educational degree and has some defined responsibilities, and so we had a presentation in regard to that today about how that works.
So they can provide services as prescribed by the speech therapist. So they cannot diagnose, assess, those types of things, but they can actually work with the students on a IEP, if you will, that was written by the teacher, or by the speech pathologist.
Yeah. So they can work the plan, they can't write the plan, basically.
It would be a higher level paraprofessional. There's actually a degree, Alexandria Tech offers the speech language assistant and speech pathology language assistant. That was nicely done.
It was nice.
So who does the assessment, and the pathologist then will do the assessing?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we talked about that, and so that summarizes the Special Ed Cooperative recent meeting. Region 1 board meeting was in the end of December, and talked again about staffing. We have a lot of people my age that are retiring out of Region 1. What are they called again? Baby boomers. It's interesting, I can't remember.
Short-term memory.
Yeah, that's the first thing that goes, but anyway, so, and just talking about how to staff it and maybe reorganize this same. And other than that, it was just the routine updates on the products that we offer, so that was Region 1. Any other questions on my reports? Good. Missy?
The Curriculum Review Committee did not meet in December. We meet next Monday, so I'll have a report next time. And then staff development, I didn't get on there in time to go to the December meeting, but I'll be able to go to the next one.
All right.
And they basically are out of money.
Right.
So they've spent, so I do not know if they're meeting again until later in the spring, so
Right.
watching.
I think it's March or something.
Yeah, could be, yep.
Okay. Any questions for Missy? All right, then I'll turn to you, Natalie.
The wellness committee meets tomorrow, and the policy committee is brewing up a date to
Yep.
get together.
Okay, very good. Blaine Danielson.
First for 544, we met on December 14th, and they will be meeting again this coming Thursday from the 14th. Big thing is they're getting close to their goal. 500 members, they're up to 488 since September 1st of 2013, so they're 12 to go, so they're looking at a way to recognize that 500th member when it comes in, so maybe have a little more information on that next time around. One of the other things too, as of January 1st, we want to make sure our seniors and even the parents out there of seniors, scholarship applications are available in the counselor's office, so make sure they're going in and getting those. We want to make sure our seniors are getting all those applications filled out for scholarships and don't want to see anything sitting there not getting used. So that's a big thing to get out there and get those. And like I said, they were available I think the 1st of January. So for meet and confer, we met on December 12th. A couple things. The teachers had brought up their concerns about trying to have some more parking for the teachers around here. So Mr. Ness and Mr. Monkey did some reviewing. They did come up with 7-8 additional spots out here in the bus parking lot. Another 8 spots kind of behind the school here in the loading dock area over off of Freiburg. And then an additional 22 spots along the tennis courts. And come spring when we can get signage and posts and different things for those will be put up at that time. So did get some additional parking spots for those, but I think there's about 180 staff members here at KSS, so again, we can't have it for everybody, but try to do the best we can. So, and then the other thing, we're still working on finalizing the school calendar for next year. Planning on meeting sometime in February. We haven't set a date yet, but once we get that, hopefully we'll be able to finalize the calendar. And that's just coming down to a little discussion on what works best for conferences between the high school, the middle school, and the elementary, and seeing if that might be some different dates for both groups or how that's going to work out. So that's kind of it from the meet and confer. And from the buildings and grounds, I think the big thing is the shed is pretty much up and done. Mark, I know, sent out something last week. I think it was pretty much finished for if someone wanted to go through and take a little tour of it and see it. I know there's some things going on in the other schools too, the elementary schools getting ready for some work in some of those, and we're pretty close to having the science rooms all done, I believe. Mark might have a little more information on that. Other than that, that's what I've got. So.
All right. Any questions to Blaine or about building and grounds to Mark? Or Blaine, either one? All right. Stephen Vigasa, legislative liaison.
All right, well, you guys have in front of you the legislative agenda for the MSBA for 2018. I won't read the whole thing, but there's a couple things I wanted to highlight that the MSBA is working on. They're looking at fair funding, which I appreciate being in a rural community. I know the metro tends to get more money than rural sometimes. You know, they highlighted the telecommunications equity aid, where there should be more funding to ensure the schools have affordable access to high-speed internet. I mean, high-speed internet kind of seems like a given now, but there shouldn't be any places that are slow now. You know, the special education, I'll just read the special education cross subsidy for fiscal year 2016 was $679 million. It's expected to grow. Projected growth suggests it is time to create a work group to design a plan to eliminate the cross subsidy.
Mark, what's our number? that we're.
Was it like $700 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
so that means we're spending $700 out of our general fund
Per student.
per student that is not coming from the federal or state government to cover special education costs. So that's where they get the cross subsidy. We're crossing our general fund with our special education funding, so it's a big number.
Absolutely. The other thing too, that I appreciate the ballot language, where when a bond expires and a new one's proposed, ballot language should be changed to accurately reflect the impact of the homeowner, which I know when I was a voter during the last bond bill, the language I felt was a little misleading because it said, it almost made it seem like we're gonna be paying more taxes, but there's another tax that's going away. So really my net tax was exactly the same, but I suppose we were unable to, as a school district, able to say anything like that on the ballot. So I would appreciate that. I mean, anything we can do to get bonds passed is a good thing, in my opinion. And then also teacher shortage, just finding more creative ways to incentivize people to jump into teaching who are not fresh out of, high school. Maybe some non-traditional students would be able to jump into teaching, because it is possible. So that's kind of just the Cliff Notes version of this agenda. I'm sure it's on their NSBA website as well.
All right. Any questions about legislative initiatives through the School Board Association? Okay. Very good. And then we will turn next to Matt Lemke for his board reports.
Okay, Minnesota High School League, they meet February 1st of 2018 here, so I don't have anything to report for them. Their annual report, which I was hoping to be able to report, usually they have it out late December, early January, but I did contact them and they said they weren't going to have it ready until February, so as soon as they release that report, I'll forward it on to everybody so you can take a look. It's kind of some interesting numbers and stuff just to talk about athlete participation and different sports and things that the Minnesota High School League is doing. Lakes Country Service Co-op, they met December 14th. The big item, well, I shouldn't say that, well, the biggest item on the agenda was the audit review, and they had a favorable audit. One thing that is interesting about Lakes Country Service Co-op, they've been able to build up reserves enough that they could stop all revenue for, if revenue all stopped for them, they could operate as is for about 3 years before they would run out. So very few companies could do that, but it's good that they've well managed their funds right, and they have been able to do so, and they got a favorable audit report too. The other thing that they talked about, and something that they've been working on, is the Association of Educational Purchasing Agencies. And they are looking at, now this is nationally, and they're part of the National Co-op Purchasing Group, and they are looking to, right now, all contracts represent about $475 million in sales to members in 26 states. They are hoping to grow that over the 2018-2019 year to $619 million. And the way that they're going to try to do that is they're going to begin to advertise for additional bids. So they're going to be going out for bids so that we can get competitive bidding for career and technical education supplies, athletic supplies, office supplies, instructional supplies, fleet transportation, so buses and things of that, building security, bleachers, and playground and outdoor fixtures. So they're looking to expand so that, again, they can get hopefully a favorable pricing from competitors to pass on to its members. And we are part of that membership, so. And that is the two items that I have to report.
Okay. Any questions for Matt? Then we'll turn to Superintendent Ness.
Yes, just two quick items here. The National Honor Society is meeting tonight at 7 o'clock, the induction ceremony, and I believe there's 36 new members, so that's a nice large number, so congratulations to them. I will have all that information in a future call, and we'll be able to list students. And then just to remind people that our long-term facility committee starts up again tonight at 6:30. We've done a lot of looking at our buildings. We've done some enrollment. Now it's throwing out options and put costs to them, and so we can start brainstorming what our facility solutions will be. And just a reminder, so the second and fourth Monday of January and February, we'll be meeting at 6:30 to 8. We'll be right in this room here. unless we decide to go off-site and tour a facility again, because we need some updates there. So that is the agenda. So the first thing we'll be doing tonight is just kind of reviewing all of our buildings and making recommendations. Our principals met at length this afternoon and just have some things that they'd like to share as well on their thoughts of needs and different things, so.
Okay. Any questions for the superintendent? All right. Thank you. We'll move on to our general consent items, which includes consideration for approval of the minutes from our December 11th school board meeting, and then also our bills and treasurer's report. So what do we have, Natalie?
Well, we stated it at the last meeting that this would be our low point of the year, and so we're sitting at 4.9 million, but compared to last year at this time, we are at 3.7, so sitting much more comfortable than in the past, and we did make one of our large bond payments, so that's kind of why we're at our low, so we'll begin to grow again from here.
Good. All right. And then we'll go through some personnel activities.
Yes, we have support staff resignation, Stacy Coley, special ed para, which you'll see her, she's hired in a different position farther down. Sam Neubauer, special ed paraprofessional, so those two resign. Hires, and I'll stop and put in a plug right here. We need hires, we need subs, we need lots of people to help with our schools right now, so we're in dire need, especially for subs, for both teachers and for special education paras or any type of paras. So if you're interested in subbing, please contact our office. So the hires, Kaylee Grant, special ed para, Brianna Underhill is a special ed para, Marcy Clausen is a secretary long-term sub. She is, many of you remember Marcy, was our employee, has come back to sub until we filled Julie Bakken's position, and she'll help train as well. Heidi Drews, paraeducator, long-term sub at McKinley. Stacy Coley is now hired as a paraeducator. She'll be working in the media center here at KSS. And Astrid Bjornley is a Title I paraprofessional at Cleveland, so that's effective January 16th. We also are adding Heather Heikus, for those of you that don't remember, is a teacher at our school of choice. They have expanded to Friday. They're getting bigger and wanting some more time. So they go Friday mornings, and they have enough to cover the cost of Heather's salary there. And so that'll start the second semester. She's been doing it probably for about a quarter now already, and now we'll finish out the year. And then a certified staff resignation, Christine Lawson, part-time art teacher. She's been working Friday afternoons on project work at our ALC, and she is resigning as the end of the semester.
Then the next item to be included in our consent agenda is the 2017-2019 agreement with the Fergus Falls Principal Association, a settlement that was consistent with what we had previously approved for the teaching staff. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any of these items that anyone wants further clarification or has questions? I was curious about the ALC art position. Will we be seeking a new part-time art teacher, or did the project not work out?
Well, she is going to a new position, so that's in talks right now, whether that'll be offered. It's very difficult to find a Friday afternoon or a part-time person like this, so it'll be difficult to do that if possible. So we're in deciding, maybe there's another option for ALC students at that point. So we're still researching that one.
Alrighty. Anything else up for discussion? All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that is approved. And then the next item, I'm looking for a motion to approve roofing bids. We'll entertain the motion and then look for a little bit more information from our business manager. So is there a motion to approve the roofing bids for Kennedy Secondary School?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Tell us what we need to know about these bids.
I want you to reject them.
Okay.
All right, what we found out is we opened bids on December 13. We had about 6 different vendors, which is really good. They ranged all the way from $78,000 all the way up to $442,000. The $78,000 bid, though, did not meet specifications for the materials that we put in there, which raised a question about the specifications. The second lowest bidder was at $149,000. And so after reviewing the bids and the specifications, that we've decided that the best course of action is to reject all the bids and resend them back out using revised specifications for materials.
Okay.
So I would ask that you rescind the approval of the bids.
Okay.
Probably the next course of action would be to everybody vote no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say, so you
Okay.
can,
So I'm used to rejecting by saying no, but no, that would be that. Any additional information you can provide us, like so it was really just are we gonna be compromising the quality of the product to go from a $78,000 bid to a $4 and a quarter? That's just crazy.
No, the 440 was definitely an outlier. Most of the bids were around that 140,000.
Okay,
But they were using a type of material that was only from one supplier.
okay,
Whereas the one company said, I don't want to go with that supplier, I want to go with a different one.
okay.
And so now knowing that there are different suppliers of this same material or similar material, we'll respect it.
That sounds good. And what did you anticipate the cost would be prior to getting bids?
Well, the company that we were helping me out with this had estimated about 200,000.
Okay,
So having the bids come in at about 150 was good.
good.
What's the date we're gonna be requesting the bids by?
I haven't dealt with that yet.
Okay.
I'm going to be dealing with that here yet this week.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So we have a motion and a second to approve the roofing bids for Kennedy Secondary School. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right, bids are rejected. Next, we'll seek a motion to add a .0833 full-time equivalent language arts teaching position, along with the hire of Ethan Johnson to teach, which is in that position, correct? To teach one class for one semester. So we are basically adding
one period for the semester. And I'll just, before you even take motion, so we discussed this at our work session, and what this is it's a 9th grade section called 9B. What it allows it to do is help students pass their first semester course and supplement and also pass their second semester course. So it's something we've done pretty regularly the last few years, adding that.
a little bit of a reach back.
Exactly.
All right. Will someone offer the motion to add that .0833 FTE for language? And hire Ethan Johnson.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion on that? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that is approved. Would someone offer a motion to call for bids for effective March 1, 2018 through the end of the school year for food?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. And hit it again. We do
Sure.
this-
We're required by the federal government on our food service program to bid for foods. We've selected to do this in 3 parts rather than try to have an inflator of some sort for the entire year. So if you remember back in, I think it was August, we did bids, and we did it again in October or November, I think. And so now here's the third and final step in the process to get us through the school year.
Is this the first year? No, this is the second year we've gone out for bids every quarter?
This is the first year that
Is
we've
it?
done it this way.
Okay.
Yep.
And so far between the first and second bids, is it staying pretty consistent, or?
It's been staying very consistent. It's definitely been getting more competitive too. If you remember the first bid, we only had 1 bidder that responded. The second time, I believe we had 4. And I suspect at least that same number this next time, or
All right. Very good. So, any other discussion, questions on our food bids? All in favor of approving a call for bids, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, call them up, big guy. And then, is there a motion to approve our tentative certified seniority list for this fiscal year?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And, of course, we got a document in our board packet, and that's our version of the seniority list, and then staff reviews it if there are adjustments. And Elaine specializes in this and showed it already to FFEA, correct?
Yes, I did.
Administration, the union people, so. Once the staff have reviewed it, then we'll have it back for final approval. Final approval, right on. So, is there a motion to approve the tentative certified seniority list that we have?
So moved.
All right. Motion by
You-
Stephen.
No,
Wait,
we have
wait,
we just got vote.
You just need the vote.
Just
We're
the
saying the
vote.
vote.
We did
sorry.
the, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
Matt and
Matt
Blake,
Blake.
yes.
Yeah, but-
Just need the vote.
Oh, man, that was like
People are so- Okay, all in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's approved. And then, I just lost track for a second there. And then we have one final activity on our agenda for the evening, which is motion to approve the 2017-19 pupil transportation agreement between our board and the Otter Tail Coaches Incorporated. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Do you wanna, we did review get the contract in the board packet. Does anyone have any questions or wanna review that any?
I do, I have a question. One of the things that it says in the contract is that the buses have to be changed out every, I think it was 8 years. And I wonder why, when they're changed out, the seat belts aren't added to a new bus.
Do you know the seatbelt question?
well, first of all, I don't know of any requirement for them.
No?
And I don't know of any regulation that even wants them. It's been brought up many times, but nobody seems to have the ability to say you must have them in there. And I think it's a huge liability thing until somebody, some regulatory company or agency comes by and says you must, then nobody wants to touch it. It's one of those things.
I think that, it's my understanding, and I'm spitballing a little bit here, but the design of the bus seats with the high backs are to eliminate, or to decrease the impact if there is some, like a school bus whamming into something, that has a different effect. But I imagine we could get fuller training from the bus company, but so far I've understood that the detriment outweighs the benefit of having seatbelts in school buses.
Plus, if you have to evacuate the bus, unbuckling, 100 students,
Especially if some of them are kindergarten, they
Right.
don't know, and,
or
it's just-
panicking or something.
Yeah,
That's why I say, I know they're waiting for some regulatory agency to come out and make the mandate, and it just has never happened.
yeah, wiser heads than ours have reviewed it, but I'm reminded to be curious about that. Okay, any other questions or discussion? All in favor of approving our contract for services with Otter Tail Coaches as proposed, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, good. So we'll stick around tonight and we'll talk about our plans for going down to the school board conference this week. We're gonna set up a couple of meeting dates for a couple committees, and then we're gonna meet with our long-term facility group and continue to look at our options and brainstorm up a storm. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion about adjournment? All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.